You know, 2020, I got this pin from Leah last year. 2020 sucked, but you guys were very supportive of my channel, and I thank you for that. And I was lucky enough to get to see a lot of movies this year. So let's count down my top 10 movies of the year. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Mad About Disney, and welcome back to Cinemad, the show I do here where I review stuff that isn't Disney related. You know the drill at this point if you're watching this video. And welcome to my top 10, really 15, you'll see why in a second, movies of the year. I want to start this off by saying that there were a lot of highly rated movies that I didn't get to see this year, some of which I will be showing you on screen right now. So if you had a pick that you really liked this year, but I didn't get to see or didn't make this list, let me know down in the comments below what you watched that you really enjoyed. I know I've seen a lot of different lists from other YouTubers who make similar lists, a lot of variance in these lists. Last year it was a lot of Parasite at number 1. This year there's a lot more division because it was a very weird year for movies. But to get started, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions, so number 15 through 11 on my list. Now, I've seen 59 movies this year, so I saw a lot of really good ones and a lot of really bad ones. So if you haven't seen my top 10 worst movies of the year video, go check that one out after this one if you would like. If you don't want to, I can't make you. Kicking off my honorable mentions is number 15 on my list, Bad Education, a true crime drama starring Hugh Jackman that was truly riveting. It was great performances all around, incredibly interesting. Next on my list is number 14, Mank, which is directed by David Fincher. While it's not Fincher's best work, it's still certainly a very interesting movie. I could see it doing very well at the Oscars in a lot of the technical categories like sound design and cinematography and stuff like that. And number 13 is Da 5 Bloods by Spike Lee, a Vietnam War movie told from really interesting perspectives that has some great acting, specifically by Chadwick Boseman and Delroy Lindo. And number 12 is The Way Back, a redemption movie involving alcoholism and basketball, starring Ben Affleck, that has Affleck's one of his best performances that I've ever seen personally. And number 11 is Devil All the Time, a movie that I reviewed here on this channel, and while it might be a little bit too packed to the bone, it was still incredibly interesting and had some great performances, especially by Tom Holland. And with no further delay, let's get right into my top 10 list with number 10. Feels Good Man is my top-rated documentary of the year. It is about Pepe the Frog, a iconic internet meme that has since been added to the ADL's list of hate symbols online because it got taken over by, as a hate symbol by multiple extremist groups on the right. Basically, politics aside, it's an incredibly interesting documentary. I think no matter what your political stance is, you'll find it incredibly interesting. If you use the internet at all, especially if you use sites like Reddit, or you're just interested in memes and how they evolve from their origins, it's a really interesting documentary that I highly recommend. At number 9 is Palm Springs, a comedy starring Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. I also reviewed this one here on the channel. So I keep my thoughts brief for this one, but it's a really interesting premise. Even though it's been done before in a little bit different ways, it held my attention for sure, and it was hilarious. At number 8 is Another Round, also known as Druk or Drunk. It's a Danish film. It's the highest ranked foreign film on this list. Actually, I think it's technically the only foreign film I caught this year, ahead of Oscar season, which is, and I think it's later this year. I think it's April. I don't really know. Point is, ahead of the Oscars, I might catch up on a few more foreign film contenders, but this was the only one I've seen this year. But it is a really great story about friendship and a really important message about alcoholism. At number 7 is First Cow, an A24 movie directed by Kelly Reichardt about the first cow to come to, I believe it's the Oregon, somewhere along the Oregon Trail. It's about two traders who basically steal the cow's milk and sell biscuits with it. And it's a very simple premise. It's a very simple movie. It's a very beautiful movie, a very relaxing movie. It has one of the best scores of the year, in my opinion. If you're not a fan of slow movies, you may not enjoy it as much. I'm not a fan of all slow movies, but this one just worked for me. What can I say? I really enjoyed it. At number 6 is Wolfwalkers, an Irish animated movie from the studio that brought you movies such as Song of the Sea, The Breadwinner, and Secret of the Kells, I think is what it's called. This is one of the most stunning movies of the year. Visually, the animation is gorgeous. It reminded me of back in the 2D Disney era, because this is a 2D animated movie, but it also does stuff to distinguish itself. It's got a great story, great score, great use of music, but definitely the standout for me is the animation. Starting off my top 5 of the year, which was actually quite hard to order, I might add, is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a Netflix original movie produced by Denzel Washington based on a play by August Wilson, who also wrote Fences, which was another movie that came out a few years ago. This is Chadwick Boseman's best performance. It pains me that he passed away this year, because I really think that had he been alive for the Oscars this year, he would have gotten to walk up on that stage and accept an award for Best Actor. I think that he has got this award in the bag. Personally, maybe someone like Anthony Hopkins for The Father or Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal could come in and steal that, but I really think he's got a very good chance because he was phenomenal. Viola Davis was phenomenal. This is a performance-driven movie. Doesn't have the most rigorous story. The story is relatively simple. It's more of a character study and impressive acting than anything else, but the acting is incredible. So if you enjoy those sorts of movies, you should check it out. Another great acting movie is my number 4 pick, Trial of the Chicago 7, a Netflix original directed by Aaron Sorkin, the writer of movies such as The Social Network. And this movie was really interesting. I love a good courtroom movie, as long as it holds your attention. This entire movie pretty much takes place in the courtroom, except with the use of flashbacks to aid in the events that talk about what they're talking about in the courtroom. A lot of great acting in this movie. I could see any number of people getting nominated for acting Oscars out of this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was definitely one of the most well-acted movies of the year, along with Ma Rainey's and a few more higher up on the list. But this is definitely one of the best ones of the year. At number 3 is Tenet. I guess this is my hottest take of the year. Not a lot of people like Tenet. Well, people kinda like it. I really liked it. I give it 4.5 out of 5. I'm seeing a lot of 3.5s, maybe some 4s. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan. A lot of people think I might be biased, meaning my girlfriend Leah thinks I'm biased because I like Christopher Nolan. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's got a lot of interesting techniques used with the time traveling backwards and forwards. The fight scenes are awesome. It's a great action movie, but it also makes you think afterwards, which I appreciate. At number 2 is Sound of Metal. I think this was my biggest surprise of the year. I had no expectations going into it whatsoever. I almost didn't even watch it, but I watched it a few weeks ago. It came out, I believe, December 4th on Amazon Prime Video. I highly recommend checking this out. It is about a heavy metal drummer who loses his hearing and has to cope with life being deaf, and it is heartbreaking. It's hard to watch. The sound design is incredible, putting you in the shoes of this character. Riz Ahmed is amazing in the main role of this movie. It isn't the easiest movie to get through because it deals with such a tragic subject matter, but I really think it's worth the watch, especially if you enjoy more serious movies, but it's not a movie for everyone. And at number 1, I'm sure you can probably guess what it is at this point, is Pixar's Soul, my favorite movie of the year. I'm not surprised. But, if at the beginning of the year with some of the other stuff that was supposed to come out this year, before COVID delays were a thing, I don't know if this would have been number 1, but it definitely is now. In a weird year for movies, this was exactly the movie I needed at the end of the year to fill out the top of my list. It was uplifting, hopeful. It made me appreciate so much about life, the beauty of life, and this film definitely impacted me and touched me the most of any movie this year. I love almost everything about this movie. I gave it 4.5 out of 5. If you haven't seen my Soul review, I did a whole video. It's pretty short, like 4 minutes, so go check that out if you get the chance. But I just love this movie. As far as Pixar movies go, it's definitely one of the best in years, probably since Coco came out. It's not my favorite because I have such nostalgia for some of the other ones, but it's definitely one of the best. Pete Docter's a genius. I hope he keeps making movies. And that's gonna do it. Let me know down in the comments any movies that you saw this year that you enjoyed that didn't make the list, or if your list is a little different, maybe give me the top 3 down in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. I love when you guys comment. It makes me so happy. I respond to almost everyone that I feel is warranting a response. You know, if it's just saying like great video, I'll probably just like give it a like. But I do appreciate all of the comments. I read every single one. And I know a lot of YouTubers say that, but I genuinely do because I am a pretty small channel and I don't get a lot of comments. So I read every comment. So thank you guys for commenting down below. Let me know what your favorite movies of the year. Thank you for a great year. I know this year sucked in so many ways, but I still was able to put out some content that you guys seem to enjoy, and I appreciate that. I've got some great stuff coming in the next year. I have some stuff teed up for January that I'm very excited to share with you that may or may not be Disney related. Well, we'll see. But thank you for watching. Thank you for a year full of support. Hopefully 2021's better. Sorry for the long outro. I'll see all you Mad Maniacs next year. I hate people who do that pun.